Okay, this is Bill from Little White Dory with an update. Just looking at the front yard. My wife was out here, told me she went and pulled weeds, and boy did she pull weeds. I'm underneath a big oak tree that's dropping all the little fuzzy things. But that's not a problem. And she didn't get everything, but she got 99% of everything. Looks great. We call this our island. It's kind of in the shape of a kidney or a boomerang. And well, I'm going to be planting some annuals under here, impatiens and things like that. We'll see how that does. There's the wife right now. And this is a typical sounding Monday, Memorial Day evening, where the ice cream truck in the background has got its mesmerizing sound that you basically want to start killing people because it's so annoying. It goes on and on. Sometimes for days, it seems. Pulled a lot of things in here. We've got some Weigela. There's a hydrangea tree. Silver mops, flowers, some old tulips, more mops, some azaleas with other things scattered in. Nancy bought these globes. They glow different colors and change at night. They're solar. I forget what this is called, but it's a common thing. And everything's looking pretty good. Even the funky blue atlas, which I don't know what it looks like now. It used to remind me of a big bug. Now I don't know what it looks like. It's grown. And our roses are ready to pop. Black-eyed Susans have been weeded. We've got a lot of lilies popping up in there. I've just over the years stuffed different things in here. And I don't know what was digging in here, but something was digging in there. And the edge of this goes to Black-eyed Susans. I say she's pulled everything out. I just have to leaf blow tomorrow. A little editing. Let's see, we got underneath the hedges here is a problem. It's always been. They don't trim it. And it's right on the border. It's not like it's 2 feet in and they grow to the border. It's on the border. So half of them is mine, half of them is theirs. Pulled these weeds out. Got some, looks like gladiolas poking up in here. Did a great job. Wow. My plan is from here back to take this dirt down a little bit and use some of the bluestone that we have and fill it in along the fence here so that we can keep some weed control. I think it's going to look nice too. And on over to the backyard, we got all sorts of things going on. Still have a lot of bluestone. Still got to move it. This garden now, it's not clean and it's not tidy, but each thing has a water line, including the fountain. And I will be putting little spritzy heads in, or doing what I have to do, seeing what I can do to make that work best. But we have all the flower pots, the roses. They all have water lines coming off of this one tap, I'll call it. And it's got little valves. It almost seems too good to be true for only about $8. And then the 1/4-inch vinyl tubing. And we've got some roses popping up. We're going to have a lot of roses I'll be showing you. This is one that is from a dollar special or something like that at Home Depot at a clearance. Let's see, what else do we have? Well, these are the flowers that are going to go up front in the island. Nancy planted something, and we don't know. This stuff didn't transplant well. We're not sure why. But we got some roses coming. I'll show you what I'm talking about. All of our rose bushes have had a phenomenal good start. This was cut back to virtually nothing, and you can see that there's tons of buds. And if this thing grows well, it will grow up to 6 feet tall. These huge roses, again, more gladiolas. This is a yellow knockout kind of rose, and you can see there's just a gazillion of these roses. This whole thing will turn yellow. and it really pretty much blooms all summer long. In the corner here is a rose that comes out. Gorgeous, gorgeous rose. Haven't done much to keeping it in the past few years, but last year I added some rose food and some mulch. Got watered better, and it's coming to life. And around this side, from way back when the arborvitae was small, there's another rose in here. This one gets this yellow peach orange color. Beautiful rose. Then where's the onion? Oh, the onion is right here, right by the gnome. Nancy had an onion, we had an onion that was growing in the pantry. And she said that last year, whenever she planted one, it had a nice enough flower that it was worth planting. So she stuck it in the ground. A little splash of rosemary, which is growing. I see now that there's clearly some growth to that from when I bought it. And again, more gladiolas. This I'm going to hope maybe cap the sprinkler head that I have over here with another one of those multi-spigot things with 1/4 inch lines. There's also a sprinkler head back here, which I'm just going to cap for now, because this thing doesn't really need to be watered. The grapes will come off of the little multi-head. Some things for things like my mint, my rosemary. I think I'm going to use like a drip line. And then a drip line coming in this direction over toward this grapevine, and getting these with just a drip. Out here, they don't need much. They're good. Those are more gladiolas. In here is all lilies, and back here there's a spritzer that kind of comes out, I guess at a 90 degree, 45 degree angle, whatever, 90 degree angle over this, hitting the area where the chicken coop is now. So all the way through here, this whole area is hit with sprinkler system. And this grass, if it was fertilized properly and maintained right, should be a really great lush lawn, considering it's getting watered. Then we have this whole stretch of grass here, which is heavily infested with lots of different kinds of grasses. It's got clover, it's got dandelions, we've got all kinds of stuff growing in here. And I'm guessing, let's see, I'm looking over here, I see 4 birds out here. And, hey Sydney, you go to bed already? Yep, Sydney's on her perch inside. She's had enough already. These 4 dirty stay-outs. They like the long days. The garden, my new plan, if I haven't said it before, is to take these tomatoes, transplanting them into spaces here, giving me just tomatoes. This is going to become the tomato garden. And I'll probably try planting some companion stuff on the bottom, like maybe basil, different kinds of basils underneath. And down the center, I might plant some climbing beans, put a fence up. But I got to get beans in the ground. I love them. Looking forward to doing some fermenting of beans. Our orange Scotch brooms are popping. They're really kind of interesting plants. Come in close and you can get a feel for them, I hope. Let me see if I can focus on that. It's just a real pretty little plant with orange and red. Orange and red, I guess. Our dogwood has passed its peak with its bloom. The new white rose bush is out of the gate doing really fantastic. We're hoping to see some growth and keep that thing turning with new roses. Back here, I once said it was a ground cherry. It's not ground cherry, it's a night cherry or shade cherry, something like that. Grapevine coming back. I'm really stoked about that because that's going to head off in this direction, as you can see. Another one over here, going to head in both directions. Oops, down there. And then this one, I'm going to have to start training it in that direction, but it's heading this way. So I'm really psyched. I'd like to get that whole fence covered in grapevine. Mostly for the shade that it'll provide for the girls. The bugs, that's great. I don't know if they're going to eat the leaves. I'm hoping they don't. They don't seem to be bothering with them now. And I don't care if they eat the grapes. If they want to eat the grapes, they can have the grapes. And back here, the plum is doing very well. We've got some great growth. All sorts of nice new growth coming out on the end of each tip. They look like this thing is going to be a success, providing I don't get any bugs. You can see we have some fruit, which is awesome. Still got planting to do. I know, I'm terrible. I'm going to get to it. Another rose bush. We bought 4 rose bushes. This one is just like off the charts. Can you believe these colors? It's almost like it's fake, I have to say. It really almost looks like it's fake. They're just incredible. This is not being retouched. This is pretty crude editing. And another one over here that will have a slightly different, similar style to the other, but a different color pattern. I forget what colors though. My little lilac over here is doing well. I'm very excited about that. Lilacs do good here, and this should be a particularly good spot for anything, so I'm happy to see this lilac taking off. That will give the girls really good shade, and someday when I open this thing up to them, they'll be hanging out underneath this. I know it. These are, Nancy keeps telling me and I can't remember, a thing that should have been trimmed back last fall and wasn't. But right now it looks like it's growing, and I think as the summer goes, I think it's just a slow grower. I have a feeling it's going to fill in, and if I give it some plant food, it's going to get watered well, and I think if it gets a little plant food, we'll do all right. And now I'm looking at over here, I'm thinking maybe a patch of strawberries. I don't know, something. Nancy likes the strawberries, I like them too, but there's not a lot of sun there. But otherwise, things are looking good. It's Memorial Day. It's going on about 11 minutes, almost 12 minutes that I've been chapping her away, so let's call it a day. Everything's looking good here. We're happy. For anybody who's seeing this, we just have projects. You know, I have my compost bin going to be put here. That's one of my first projects for the help that I'll have here, hopefully starting Saturday. My woofer. This time it's a woofer that I believe is going to show up. Her name is Olivia. I may have mentioned it once before. She's a high school grad going to college in Scotland next year, here in the States for the summer. And I'm hoping to have her show how the tractor works. We're doing a lot of weeding now, but hopefully she'll give me a hand with the weeding we don't get done. I got all kinds of processes in the coop that I'd like to show her. Gardening, relaxing, American style. And she's going to be staying here in my cottage. We have a bedroom. I'll stick my head in here quick. You can see it's nothing fancy. Just a bed, a couch, and a TV. But in exchange for some help, hopefully they'll learn a little bit about Long Island, New York, whatever else I can teach. My background is odd. It's interesting. It's electrical, accounting, and technology education, as well as amateur permaculture. All right, guys. We'll talk to everybody soon. This is Bill saying goodnight, and hope everybody had a good holiday weekend. Bye-bye.